Hey guys, welcome back to ETL Lab. This is Hetu, and this in this session we will look at some of the real-time ETL testing interview questions and answer. All right, guys. So just to understand this basically session is very special for all of you because these questions I have received from one of my subscriber, and then I have promised him that I will create a separate video on this, and hence I'm creating this, right? And believe me, guys, after looking all these questions, I was really, happy that these are good questions, and I should prepare one separate video for this so that all of you can get benefit out of it. Okay. So this looks to be like he must have received it, I mean, got it from the interviews that he might have attended, right? And I found them genuine questions, and that is the reason, I thought I will prepare it, right? So let's start, guys, without any further delay, and let's try to attempt the first question. So first question is, what do you mean by job and how to run it, right? So in ETL terminology, ETL job is basically a workflow, right? So basically, the job is something that is runnable. So when you run it, what will happen? Finally the entire process, ETL process, will be run, and it will be completed to successful. Once successful completion of the ETL job is done, then the data will be loaded into target table, and then we can start the validation as part of our QA, right? So, what is ETL job, guys? It is basically, if you are aware about Informatica, I might have shown you, right? What is how to run the workflow, and then after running it is succeeding, right? So if you want to have a look at, you can watch some of my videos which I have used the Informatica in that, and there I have created mapping, and on top of that mapping I have created a a session and then workflow, right? So workflow is basically combination of multiple sessions, right? So complete workflow that you run and it completed successfully, that is nothing but a job, right? So job is basically workflow in Informatica terminology, right? Now, guys, how do we run all those jobs, right? So there are two ways, okay? So in test environment, when you are testing, basically you can always go and run, on demand basis. So you can go and you can right click and you can just run the job, right? I'm talking about Informatica, right? So you can say, start workflow, then it will start and it will complete, okay, if everything is fine, right? That is basically why do we run in the test environment, because when we need to test something, we obviously need to load the data from source and target, right? And then once data is loaded in target, we basically verify between source and target, right? That is how we do in test environment. Other possible scenario can be, when there might be, on-demand run. On-demand run is needed to, from the, let's say there is any issue in the production system, and then you are dealing with that, your normal job has failed, scheduled job basically has failed, and you actually corrected the source system, and after that you want to run it, right? Since in production there is a schedule, right? So let's say the job is set up to run on a particular time in a day, right? So as part of that it is failed, and then you found that the job is failed. Now you need to actually correct the file. You got the file corrected, means the source file corrected or source system corrected, and then you need to again rerun it. In that case we have to manually trigger that job in production also, right? So this is basically the part of the production support engineer, guys. This is not for QA, but then I'm telling you this is the scenario. That's where the manual trigger can also be needed in the production environment also, right? But mostly manual trigger is needed in the test environment and QA environment, test environment and dev environment as part of testing. All right. Second scenario can be the scheduling as per requirement, using the scheduling job, right? So schedule is basically this is for the production environment. So in production environment, the jobs are not manually triggered. There is no manual intervention at all, expected in the production environment. Everything is supposed to be scheduled through any of the the scheduling tool. So there, you might be aware that there are multiple scheduling tools like Control M, Cron, Jenkins, AutoSys. Yeah, there are many more. Yeah. So it can be anything which basically can set up your workflow, Informatica workflow, to run at a particular point of time in a day, right? Or a particular whenever you want. There are some jobs which basically runs only in weekend. Some of them only runs in a month end, right? So those kind of jobs are also there, guys, right? So everything, all those kind of jobs has to be set up using some scheduler so that there is no manual intervention needed. Only monitoring can be done by the production support engineer, right? Because if there is any failure, etc., they have to fix that, right? In real production. Otherwise, there will be the production users, they might get impacted, right? So these are the two scenarios, guys. That's where how we run the job, and these are the two scenarios. You can explain it very well if somebody want it, right? In interview, if they can ask. Let's move to second question, guys. So second question is source table has 1000 records and only 900 is loaded into target. So what will be your approach for testing, right? So this is, first of all, this is very valid scenario because source might have more than target. So this is very valid scenario. There can be two cases where I mean there could be multiple, but I just figure out there could be couple of reason, but two cases that I have depicted here, and that's why I will explain it also how to test them, right? First thing could be there is a duplicate data in the source. Okay, so for example, you have 1000 records in source, but out of 1000 there is 100 records which are duplicate, basically exactly duplicate records in the source, right? That is the OLTP system. And then once you run the ETL job, basically there is a cleansing within the ETL where you are basically deduping, right? So where you are removing the duplicates before loading into target, and hence the 900 records will be loaded into target. This is very valid. Second one can be, there could be the filter condition, valid filter condition that might have been applied. Okay, so that those 100 records might be filtered. So I'll give you an example for this. So let's say I have, customer, all right, customer table is there. So there are certain customer, so I would like to load all those customers which are, you know, uh, okay. So which are basically having city, uh, which are having all the city in India except, for example, let's say Mumbai, right? So I don't want to load the customers which are having city as a Mumbai, right? Rest everything I would like to load, right? So in this case, let's say in that filter condition, I will put that, filter those records which are actually city as a, uh, which does not have, city as a Mumbai, and load them, right? So Mumbai, for Mumbai, there might be 100 records, right? 100 customers. Those will be filtered out. They will not be loaded into target. So that is the valid filter transformation, right? So this can be another scenario, guys. Okay, to have the lesser record in the target table. Okay, there could be multiple, but I just figure out two here, right? Now how do we test all these scenarios? So let's say for first case, right, if there is a duplicate in the source table, how do you test it? So there are two ways, okay, to figure out if there is duplicate in the source or not, right? One thing is, if the source system is a flat file, then you can use this command, basically sort -u and the file name. You will exactly get how many are, I mean basically the unique records, right? Those you will get it. And if the source system is database, then you can use this very simple query, select distinct star from EMP. I mean, you can give here the table name, obviously, right? So this is how you can figure out, how many rows are there. Here, guys, if you want the rows, then you can, I mean, if you want the count, you can get this count. All right. Here also you can just get the count, right? So this is how you can test it if there is a duplicate in the source system. Okay, first thing. And then you are, you can say that, this is the valid scenario, and, the test case is pass. Second case is filter transformation. As I said, the second condition could be the valid filter transformation, guys. So in this case, what we can do is, we can just check the filter condition, what is there coded in Informatica, right? As part of filter condition, you just check it, what is that, right? So let's say I want to filter out all the records where, the city is not equal to Mumbai, and those will be actually passed into the next level, means target, right? So I will just use that in the source. So again, I could have two scenario. One is the source might be in the database, then it is very simple, right? I can say select count star from table where Mumbai, where city is not equal to Mumbai, right? Then I will basically get all the 900 records in that case, right? Because Mumbai will be filtered out. So I'll get that. Second case could be, here. What is that, guys? This is flat file. Second case again could be flat file, means this is another source system. In that case, I can. It is very difficult to get those filters. So I will get that filter condition. Based on the filter condition, I will use this grep condition, right? Grep command in Unix, grep -o, and then I will give you that filter. What is that value is there, and then I will put the flat file name here, what is the name of the source system, and then I will say wc-l, means I will take the total count, which are basically filtering, isn't it? And then I should be getting 100 here, right? Which means I will subtract from 1000 minus 100 with my 900, right? So in this case, I can validate like this also, right? So these are some things. It's not very standard, guys, because we have to see the case by case. Okay, we have to use our best judgment. So but these are the normal scenarios that I'm explaining it here. Okay, hope this is making sense to you and you are able to understand. Now, guys, let's see the third questions. Okay, third question is, how will you test if source system and target systems are different databases? Guys, these questions I have already answered. I think there was some comment on one of my video, and I have already answered this. But let's recap here as well. Okay. So there is a limitation, guys. Limitation is we cannot perform the direct minus query because the source system, source and targets are basically the different databases, right? And then we cannot really perform the minus query first of all. Possible test that we can perform is you can still perform the minus query between your staging table and then your target table, because what will happen, I'll show you guys. Okay, so what happens, I don't know, here I don't have it. Okay, here you can see, guys. Okay, so here if you see that source system is here. Okay, source system is basically there, and the same copy is loaded into staging table. Okay, so if it is a different table, but staging table might be very similar to your target table. I mean, this is the target table, right? And because we are loading the target table and this staging is supposed to be the target table, same database, right? In that case, I can actually use staging table and then landing zone or the target table, and I can do the validation between these two if I do not have the source system here, right? Source system has a different database. So here maybe Sybase, here is Oracle, here is Oracle, right? So once everything is loaded here, because the staging is the very same copy or replica of your source systems, right? Everything is supposed to be there. And after staging only, if there is any transformation is going to happen, it will be happening here after that only, right? So this is basically a staging and source are going to be same. So I can perform here the minus query still, okay? All right, guys. Second is you can export the data, the source data. All right. If it is, let's say, Sybase as a source, you can export some of the data using the export utility, and then you can load into your export into maybe your Excel sheet or something. Then you can load that Excel sheet into your target database. So let's say your target database is what? Maybe Oracle, and that's where you can create a temporary table and you can load it there. And then now it is very easy. After loading, you can just say target table minus the temporary table that you have exported right now. Okay, loaded into the temporary table. So this is the another way that you can do. Sorry, guys. Third thing is you can use the extract. You can use extracts, or you can extract some of the rows from the source and source and target, and use Excel macros to perform the validation. Yeah. So this is again limited, guys, because you cannot really have the huge means millions of records and all. But you can definitely extract some sizable amount of data from both the databases, put them into Excel sheet, and just perform the equality or whatever, you can write little macro, lookup, etc., and you can just perform it, yeah, whether the validations are correct or not. All right. Sorry, guys. Last one, you can do the sample based testing, guys, right? So in this case we are actually taking some sizable amount of data, let's say 1000 records, and 1000 records from Sybase, 1000 from DB2, sorry, the Oracle, that is the target and source. and then validate it. That it also we can do. And here we can basically take some random data. Okay, we don't want to take from sequential. We can take couple of random data from both the source and target, and we can just match it or validate it. This is manual in nature, guys, but then this is still the way that you can do it, right? So there are a couple of ways that you can opt it, but here it is not guaranteed that everything is, it's not the complete testing, guys. It is something that you are just doing some sort of testing rather than not doing anything, right? So this will still be good rather than not doing any testing. This is still okay. Okay, so these are the four ways that you can do, guys. Okay. Now let's go to fourth question. So what are the validation that you perform from landing area to staging area? So what is landing area, guys? You see here, landing area is nothing but it is target table. And then staging is that, after source systems, every data is coming to staging area. It is not mandatory that every ETL system will have the staging area. Okay, there might be smaller ETL jobs. Staging is not at all needed also, right? But in this case, let's say we are understanding that we have the staging area, we have landing area, and then between there is a transformation. So what are the transformation what are the validation that we are going to put? So very simple answer, guys. Since source and staging both are same, so whatever this is supposed to be same. Okay, it may be same, it may not be same. If it both are not same, staging and source, which means there is some problem between extraction, because here is extraction, right? Source and staging, between here there is extraction. Now transformation, and here is loading, right? So if source and staging are not accurate, this is what basically we have to verify, right? So there are, validation that we normally put is source, staging, staging to target. All right. These are the two levels that we are putting normally. Okay. Source and staging, and then staging to landing. Now the question is, what are the transformation? What are the validations that you perform from landing to staging? So from here to here. What are the transformation? Guys, everything, all the transformation that we perform between source and target or source and landing, everything is performed between these two also. So these transformations could be, minus query, row counts, duplication check, junk value, not null, constraint checks, data truncation, everything, guys. Whatever scenarios you normally perform it for the source and source systems, everything that we have to perform here also. Okay, there is no difference. Sorry. Now, what are the validations you perform after loads from source to target? So this is again same, guys. So the first question was landing and staging. Now it is landing and source, right? So pretty much same validation that we are going to perform here also, right? So there is no uh, different answer for this, guys. But many times what happens, since the source is we cannot put the minus query all the time between source and target, because source can be any kind of system, because it is supposed to be disparate system. It is supposed to be uh, the system which the data can be sourced from file or ERP system or any kind of system, and then relational databases also. So every time the minus query cannot be performed, okay? And there are various validations that we cannot perform between these two systems as well. In that case, we normally take help of a staging area, because the staging area is supposed to be same as your source, right? Until unless there is something explicit requirement, normally the staging and source are both are same. So that's why if we are not able to perform between source and target, then we go between staging and um, staging and target, guys. Okay. So this is what I wanted to say. And again, guys, all the tests that we are looking at here, they are not really covering everything at all. Okay, there might be some or other validation that you need to put as part of your ETL, but actually I am trying to cover everything that what interviewer basically expect from you, because these are the very generic test. Okay, some of the test cases, for example, I have created couple of videos on filter transformation, router transformation, and sorry, not I think router, shorter transformation. Recently, I created for joiner transformation. So all those kind of videos that I have created, those are the different level of transformations, and those transformation need to be validated some additional test apart from the normal test that we are discussing here. You see, minus, row count, duplicate, etc. So all these transformations will have some added test cases for that, right? So that's why you should go and watch all those um, videos as well, just to understand what are the other test cases. Okay. Now, guys, the last question, I think this is the what is the lookup transformation that is asked. So I'm yet to create a video on this lookup transformation testing, but let me explain you, right? So what is the lookup transformation? So basically in Informatica, uh, we have two kind of transformation. One is connected and unconnected. So in lookup, basically, lookup has got connected and unconnected both the transformation. Connected means basically it will be connected through your pipeline, which means within your mapping, whatever you create mapping, you will be able to see that that flow. But in case of unconnected, you will not be able to see it in the workflow, right? That's I mean basically that's the work area. That's where you create your mapping, right? So mapping within mapping designer, you cannot do that. Okay, you cannot see that. Those are unconnected. So let's not go that much deeper into lookup. So lookup, what is lookup? First of all, let's try to understand. So lookup transformation is basically, it is very similar to join. Okay. What we do is basically in join, we uh, we try to fetch joiner transformation, right? So joiner transformation, we try to fetch the information from two or more tables, right? Uh, Based on some joining keys, right? Now in lookup also we do the same thing, okay? But there is a difference, right? So joiner transformation is always, connected transformation. However, lookup is connected and unconnected both, okay? Other difference between lookup is that, the in joiner we always have the source systems, two source systems, okay, to join it. But in lookup, the lookup table that we are actually joining after that, it's not part of your source, okay. It will be joined, in the middle of, the workflow or the, mapping that we create. So guys, when I create one video about, lookup, then I think you will be able to understand more better. But let me try to tell you one example, right? It is very similar to, what do you say? Very similar to, one second, guys. Okay, sorry, I think I missed it. One sec. Hmm. Sorry, guys. I think, I missed one of the slide here, and looks like it's got deleted. All right, but let me try to help you understand here, right? So basically, the lookup transformation, let's say I have one employee table, and the lookup table is, let's say, department table. So employee table is having three columns: employee number, employee name, and department number. And lookup table basically the department table, and department table is basically having department number and department name. Okay. Now, as part of lookup, I would like to derive the department name from that department table. That is my lookup table. So in that case, what I will do is, in my source, I will just take the employee table, and then in the middle I will use one lookup transformation, and then I will try to put a join between that and the lookup table, right? That is the department table. Finally, I would like to take as part of my output employee number, employee name, department number, and department name. So department name will come from the lookup table, guys, right? Based on that joining condition, right? So that's why I'm saying it is very similar to join condition. We can also achieve using the join condition, okay. But the difference is lookup table we are using because that particular, the lookup table might need, frequent updates and everything. That's why we don't want to incorporate as part of, the regular workflow, and sometimes we are not aware about that table. So that's why lookup table is used. Now I will lookup transformation is used. And now let me in the next session, I mean upcoming session, I will try to cover obviously the lookup transformation, then it will be more clear, guys. And for now I think we are done, guys. And let's let's wind up this session. And if you still have any questions, guys, feel free to comment on the video. I will try to clarify it. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching, and have a lovely weekend. And bye for now, and happy learning. Please, okay. So one more request. If you really liking all these videos, because I am putting lot of efforts to create all these videos, please do circulate to your friends, whoever need it. Yeah, because the whole intention of this particular video that I am creating is to help the people who can, who are really struggling with their jobs. They want switch, or uh, who really looking into ETL area, and they want to switch their job, or they want to even find the job as part of ETL tester, right? So all this video is dedicated to those people, and feel free to ask the questions. And until then, happy learning, and God bless you, guys. Thanks.